Hello, guys. Oh, there's Rand. Kevin, how are you?
Well, I don't know. It's weird. My They doubled my water pill, so either I'm in the bathroom pissing or but my blood pressure's dropped 20 points, so that's not bad.
Oh, good. Now, you call them water pills. What are they exactly?
They're diuretics. Thank you.
Oh,
So yeah, and that's a problem. But I've thought about seriously about seeing if I could adopt a physician.
is it a he or a she?
Doesn't matter. I need somebody in house to take care of me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's getting to that point.
You need a child from a medical school.
Yeah.
Susan, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And Rand, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Good. Good.
And
Okay.
you?
Uh, I'm not going to talk about politics today. No, no politics, no religion. We're just going to do Tai Chi.
Sounds like a plan.
As long as I've got my Tron outfit on here, I want to do a couple things with you guys that we actually did in the earlier class. So these are a little bit out of order, but if you can, and I have mentioned them before to you, but if you can grab hold of these, they will really improve your internal timing and make it more enjoyable to do the forms. So I'm going to mention first from move number two in the form. We're going to go into a basic principle, but this is good throughout the form, not just from this move. It's just that it shows up so well in this move, right? Let me demonstrate it, and we'll talk about the principle, and then we'll practice it a few times. So just watch first. So what this is about is coordinating different halves of the body, the right half and the left half, and the upper half and the lower half. They don't move at the same time. Now, I was exaggerating, prolonging a little bit, and exaggerating the fact that they don't move at the same time. They 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 move separately. And there are very good reasons for doing that. One of them just functional, and I don't have a partner here, so I can't show you, but one of them is just functional. And the other, you can just think of this as dance. There is a distance between your left foot and your right foot. So there has to be a little time built into the dance step to accommodate that. What happens at the beginning, and the beginning means maybe the first 10 years, is that everyone kind of does the same thing. I did it too. You move both sides of the body at the same time. But that's a problem. I'm gonna exaggerate that a little bit, but it looks like this. You just can't do it that way, right? In fact, right, it's the left side moves, and then the right side moves, and then the right side moves, and the left side moves, and the left side moves, and the right side moves. Which side goes first depends on where your weight's going. If you're going to the right, then the right side is going to move first, and the left side is going to come after, right? Watch. 1, 2. Now, again, I'm exaggerating the lag between those just so that you can see it. but it also, that lag is useful in dealing with other people if you're doing, say, push hands or something. Right? So this movement here, right, is about grabbing somebody's forearm. Now, when you grab somebody's forearm, you're going to grab them by the wrist, and you're going to come behind at the elbow. There's a distance between those two. If you try to do that both at the same time, you'll end up screwing up your own internal power. In fact, it goes, right, wrist, and then elbow, just a split second later. Once you get the timing down, it's effortless. It's one of the things that really makes Tai Chi so effortless to do on the inside and so graceful on the outside. But you've got to get the principle and work with it a little bit to kind of get the internal timing down. So again, to go back to the second move, you sink in the right quad. And now the left side of the body moves. And then the right side of the body moves. And you turn. And now the right side comes back. And then the left side comes back. And sink again. And the left side goes out. Right? And you notice the right side is waiting. It's waiting for me to block, to come around, and to begin to pull my arm back, and then it moves through. 1, 2, 3, 3, pull silk, and only when this hand gets up by my solar plexus do I raise my knee. Now the timing may be a little different for each of you because your bodies are a little different. All right, so you got to work this out for yourself, but that's the basic idea. When you're moving to the left side moves first, the right side move then follow. Once you get the timing down, then it looks effortless. It looks like both sides are moving at the same time, but they're not really. It's like 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. There's just a split second in between. The same thing with upper body and lower body. It's the matter of timing is important for 2 reasons. One, to keep your balance. If you find yourself always losing your balance at the same place, something's wrong. There's something wrong with your internal timing. So one of the things you can look at is, well, what about my left body, right body timing? Have I got that down, or am I screwing something up? Very often for me personally, it's an upper body, lower body problem. And what happens is I always rush. That's a little rushed. So instead, wait until, for me, wait and then pop. It helps me keep my balance better. So you can work on, you can play with those and work on them. They're true for any of the movements, but they really show up visually easy to see in the second movement here. Here's another example. It looks like you're pushing your hands down into your knee, but that's not really what you're doing. What you're doing is raising your knee up into your hands. So your hands want to come down to your Dan Chen before you raise your knee up. All right? And you'll notice two other things. One, I'm bringing my foot in toward my other knee, but I don't have my foot down. I've got my foot up. Like I'm walking up a really, really big staircase, right? I'm walking up, and so I'm lifting the bottom of my own foot. That'll help your balance a lot too. The second thing I wanted to talk about is move number 11 in the form. So it looks like this. The 24. Just that little section. That's why I've got the Tron suit on. What you're doing is a punch, a block down, a figure eight, a reverse chin up, and pull silk. So hidden inside there are some really interesting principles that if you can unravel them from the form and think of them as principles, they're going to, yeah, they show up here, but they're going to show up all kinds of other places too. So let's talk about those a little bit. The first principle is when you block down, it's not your arm. Your arm has no strength, weight, or leverage in this case. It's your body. Boom. So just remember after that punch, the body. So what's happening is you're condensing down this leg. All right? The hip joint is closing, the knee joint begins to close, and even the ankle joint closes. So you're spiraling down, in this case, your left leg. All right? And then figure eight. So one of the one of the advantages, I guess it's an advantage. One of the advantages of understanding it's a figure eight is your left hand has a job. This is a right-handed form, so the right hand gets the top billing, but that doesn't mean the left hand is a throwaway. All right? So punch, and then block down, figure eight, figure eight, figure eight. It's just like the move Golden Rooster. The left hand is just as important as the right hand. You can't really do it just with one hand, because this hand is grabbing and pulling something down and leaving that one open. Boom. All right. Block down, figure eight, reverse chin up, pull silk. Watch pull silk in action. So you can take that last little bit of move, pulling silk, right? You're feeling like you're pulling strands of silk through the body. Could be a block, could be a strike, and when we do it when we're practicing the form and we do it like this. And then we just go on to the next move. But in fact, that's what it is. If you take that movement and break it down, you can learn a lot about Tai Chi. The movement is a Fa Jin. So it's like a whip crack. if you want to snap a whip, you have to know when to pull it back. You just throw it out there, but what makes the whip crack is pulling it back at the right second. I mean, it's just a split second. If you wait too long, it won't work. If you do it too early, it won't work. How do you know intuitively when to pull it back? It's exactly the same problem. How do I know when to crack the whip? It's this foot. Remember that your power is generated in the legs with your weight. It's directed by your waist. It's only expressed in your hands. So you start here and you move your weight to the other side. That's going to take some time. It's going to go up, it's going to come down, and then it's going to hit the floor. When it hits the floor, boom, that's when you crack the whip. What's in between those two things is your waist. Right? Watch. The weight goes down. The waist is like the fulcrum, right? And boom, that's the crack of the whip. So it's a whole body exercise, but again, the 3 points, in this case your foot, your waist, and your hand, don't all act at the same time because there's a distance between your foot and your hand. Foot, waist, and then hand. Foot, waist, hand. 1, 2, 3. Now they kind of look like they're all happening at the same time because one of the reasons to learn this and do this in the form is to get these sequences in your mind and especially in your body. And when you first get them, they'll be a little quonky, right? Just like any other physical craft that you work on, the first few times you do it, it's going to be a little quonky. But you just keep doing it. And the more you do it, the more efficient the motion gets because your body starts to go, okay, I feel this. I can feel this, right? I can feel it in my feet. Right? I can feel it in my waist. I can feel it, snapping, boom, up here too. And your movement will become more and more efficient until it looks like your whole body's, boom, basically doing it at the same time. So that's a variation on that first one I mentioned, right? Left, right, right, left, left, right, boom. Only for this, it's mainly lower body, upper body. But the truth is this one's also lower body, right? Lower body, upper body. Does this make sense? Susan, does this make sense?
Yes, I understand.
If this form of coordination runs through every single movement in Tai Chi. It doesn't matter how fancy the form gets. It's all based on this kind of movement. So if you can grab hold of this, it will make your movement much more effective. Your balance will improve incredibly. In fact, you may go from not having balance to actually having balance. And it makes it potentially powerful. Now, when I practice the form, I don't do that. I'm just, you don't have to execute the Fa Jin to get to practice the timing. To do this practice and make it more and more and more and more and more efficient. Which is a good thing, because if you had to practice the Fa Jin, you'd exhaust yourself. It's tiring, right? When you do that, energy is going out of your body. Literally out. And you tire yourself out, so you don't do it. Do it very, very softly and still get all the benefits of beginning to truly understand what this timing is. Okay, let's work on the first section of the form. Let's do the first two moves up to Buddha's warrior, and don't try to make yourself do certain things. Just watch yourself doing it and see what you see. Okay, I watched myself doing that, and I felt my articulation was a little off in move number two. This move. Right here. I didn't wait as I was coming around here, but before I started pulling back, I walked through. It was just a split second too fast. Right? I should have waited until this hand started returning, and then all this moves up. And wait, whoa. Now, the truth is, once you get really, really efficient at this, your balance improves so much that it's like magic. And the moves that you do just absolutely seem, it's like it's all happening at once, but it's not. Okay, Ran, let's you all can practice, but Ran, let's see you do the first two moves.
Okay.
Okay, two things. Watch the top of my wrists here. Watch them. Now it's not this. Right? They relax. And then they unrelax. Right? Yeah, exactly. There's different reasons for that, but one thing you can all check on when you do this yourself. If you keep your fingers extended there, it pulls your mind and your chi out into that extension. But if you let it relax, then you relax back into your own lower abdomen. You're going to make a movement that requires a lot of balance. Try this. Everybody's done this, but do it anyway. All right. Bring the chi up your back. All right. See how that makes you feel. Now just lower it down again. Just relax it back into the abdomen. How does that feel? It's exactly the same thing. All right? Lower it. Lower it. All right, watch my qua. I'm not really doing this on purpose. It just sort of happens. Now, it's so much easier to do that. All right, second thing. When you practice the timing between the left and the right, and the lower and the upper, you may have to exaggerate it at first to differentiate it. So yes, you may, in differentiating them, they may be 10 times bigger than they really will be in real life. But you gotta start somewhere. And then gradually make it more and more efficient. So again, watch. I'm going to really exaggerate. All right? It's the left side. I'm not even thinking about the right side. It's the left side, then the right side. All right? When I do it this way, see this line here? The left side takes it about this far, right above the hip. Now, but watch what happens when the right side follows. So both sides are important. Now, I'm not going to express this that slowly in real life. But you have to start your practice somewhere. So part of this practice is just slowing down and left and then right. And what happens is your whole daimai is going to move around to down here. Right? If you don't have your hip joints are here, so let's say that the triangle of the pelvis is your hips. Above that is your waist. Your waist and your hips are not the same thing. And one of the differentiations that you have to make in Tai Chi, right, is to differentiate your waist from your hips, mentally and physically. All right? My hips can only go so far. That's it. If I go any further, I'm going to throw myself over. All right? They can go, but my waist can go further. And that's what you have to do. You've got to coil up so that you can hit in the other direction. All right? Coil, uncoil, coil. All right? Boom. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So practice with a little exaggeration. All right? Left, right, and now right, left, and now left again. Walk through. When this starts coming back, walk through. Make sense? This timing unlocks your energy body. Otherwise, you just stay in your outer physical body. Yeah, Kevin?
When that I do the walkthrough, I'm now moving more weight to the left foot, and it makes it easier for me to pull out. Before I was having too much weight back, and then it was really an effort to get that, even with the hand pulling.
Right.
And then by shifting my weight a little more forward, then it was much easier.
Exactly. One of the things that's happening, go back to this example here. All right? Shift your weight, turn your waist, and the Fajin with the hand comes from this foot. But the timing of it is when you feel your weight is going to come up, and then it's going to go down your leg, and it's going to hit the ground. The same second that it hits the ground, boom, is when that happens. One, boom. It's one movement from the foot all the way up to here, but the timing of it comes from the foot. Huh? The same thing with this stuff. Right? So Kevin was saying that he wouldn't have all his weight on this foot, and he would try to walk through. And of course, what happens is you just end up running into yourself internally. Your left side is not fully committed, and so your right side tries to move in where your left side's already there. Right? So it doesn't work. You've got to get your left side out of the way. Right? Get all the weight on the front foot. So literally there's no weight on the back leg. Then walk through. It's easy. So I've said before, Tai Chi is very easy to do. It's just very hard to learn. Right? But when you actually get these principles and begin to be able to really use them efficiently, oh, it just makes everything so much easier. Right? Let's do it together. Sink into the right leg. Now, the left side, then the right side. Right? All my weight now is on the left. And then the right side, and then the left side. Sink again. the left side. Right? 2, 3. And relax. Right? All my weight on the left. So there's let's take a couple of minutes to work on that last move. So you sink again, and you block your knee here, right? Block. And if you're young enough, you can go down and actually block the knee. It doesn't matter whether you go down or not. Huh? What matters is you do the inside right. Block. 2. 1, 2, 3. That's actually what's going on. Now, once you get that and you get comfortable with that timing, you can kind of let go of the 1, 2, 3-ness of it, and it all just sort of flows. What you don't want to do here is lose your balance and then have to do that. It's not your weight going down that does it. It's just like this, fa jin. That's the fa jin, only it's with your foot. Sink. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sink. 1, 2, 3. Relax. Sink. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it seems very artificial, and it is very artificial. But what you're doing is training yourself to look at what's actually going on. Which parts of your body are you actually activating and moving, and in what sequence? Then you bring that into your form, and you just keep practicing it. And it's going to be very awkward at first. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to be awkward. That's okay. You have to start somewhere. So you work, and then you just do that. So you do that movement over and over and over. Lots of folks, when they practice Tai Chi, say, they're not just rank beginners, but they're like you guys. They've been into this for a few years. When they practice, all they practice is the whole form. And that's a mistake. It's too much. In fact, I think I played this before, but there's a great little thing with Itzhak Perlman talking a little 2-minute advice to young violinists when he says, when you practice, don't practice a whole piece. You can't practice a whole piece. It's fine to do it once during the day, but when you're practicing a bar of music. That's it. Maybe 2 bars. And you just practice that over and over and over until you begin to see what's actually going on inside there. And you really start to get those bits and pieces of things. And you're practicing it. It's like polishing a rock. It's very boring. It's very dull. You're just going to polish that rock and polish that rock and polish that rock until it gets polished. But it's the only way to do it. So the first 2 movements of the form, That'll keep you busy for a couple of weeks. Huh? Just relax, do it gently, and watch yourself. I keep telling you guys, your real teacher is the form itself. Honestly, it's all in the music, it's all written on the score, it's all there. But you have to be able to read it. Right? And once you kind of glom onto this, then it just becomes kind of effortless. Then you can really go somewhere with it. Now, that kind of practice is not the end point of Tai Chi. That's just practice. All right? But that's the bridge that will take you from not knowing anything at all to actually beginning to understand how your internal energy body works. You've got to have the right picture in your mind. If the picture in your mind is this, well, then that's what you're going to get. If you don't understand that there's a distance between your left hand and your right hand, and your left foot and your right foot, all right, and that you need to accommodate that in your movement, and not just accommodate it, but use it, then you'll never quite catch on to what's really going on. But once you catch on to that, oh, then you know what? It doesn't matter what movement you're doing. Because they all work in the same way. Wow, it's almost the same movement, isn't it? Right? One is like that. The other is like that. It's just a slightly different angle. But it's basically all the same thing. Okay, questions? Comments? Okay, well, you've got the rest of the day. You've got, what, 8 or 10 hours before you got to go to bed tonight. So you can practice this 10,000 times. And tomorrow we'll go on into the next few movements and try and work a little bit out on their timing too. Okay, guys, have yourselves a good day. We'll see you next time.